Me and Jamie O'Hara just having a discussion about whether or not it was a penalty between Chelsea and
what did Jamie O'Hara say in response to that?
I don't think it's a penalty. Absolutely not.
Well, do you know something? I'm glad you brought it up, guys, because I got a text from Mark Halsey. You know Mark that comes on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's spot on. He's and nobody's mentioned the point here, right? What I looked at it, Jamie, straight away, and I didn't notice it, same as the referee. So therefore, why is it a clear and obvious error? Why is that brought to his attention? Because it's not a clear and obvious error.
No, exactly, yeah.
So the game should just have carried on.
Yeah, I think obviously we'll probably have more of a talk about this, but the biggest thing for me is the refs have just looked like they've lost all authority on the game.
Yeah.
You know, you see it with Lee Mason, who got himself in all sorts of a mess. Yeah. You see it with that decision yesterday. In my opinion, that is not a penalty. It's not clear and obvious. He's not gaining an advantage. All he's done is they've collided, they've come together, and it's hit his arm. Like, you can't give penalties for things like that, but it's just ridiculous. And all the players, you know, jumping up and screaming, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going up to the ref, and the ref's having to explain himself. It's just nonsense. It's getting embarrassing.
It really is. I keep saying it, Jamie. The instrument that was supposedly brought in to help the referees is actually killing them.
Yeah, it is. It's actually making them question their own decisions and having to question their own way of refereeing the game. Like 100%. You're the ref, you don't have to explain yourself.
Make a decision.
You don't have to say, oh, it might be controversial. You're the referee. You're the man in charge. And you make the decision, and we live with it and we deal with it. If VAR see that there's something wrong and you need to look at, then you go and have a look. But it's like they've just lost all authority.
See, I actually disagree with both of you, because I think it was a handball, and I'm basing that on what we've seen so far this season, as in other incidents.
Okay, Laurie, you said you thought it was a handball.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a handball immediately?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I knew you were going to do that. Look at your face.
I can't believe it.
But how can you?
You're the first person I've heard say that.
But to the eye, you go, oh yeah, it might look like a handball, but it's not enough to give a penalty.
To get back down to what you guys were saying about whether or not it's clear and obvious, I suppose, Ali, it becomes, doesn't it, that even that terminology there becomes a little bit subjective. So if you're the ones
so
that
many grey areas.
If you're the ones that are in Stockley Park and you have the technology and you're looking at it and you go, it's definitely a handball, then that becomes clear and obvious, if that makes sense. So it kind of comes down to, I suppose, the opinion of the person who's in the VAR.
Well, I'm thinking...
But it shouldn't, though.
Anybody watching that game, or a vast majority of people watching that game, their initial reaction would be it wasn't a penalty.
I don't think it's a penalty, and I think that they're ruining the game. The moaning and the screaming from the side and the players jumping up and down. Just put the ball in the back of the net, create a chance, a clear-cut one, and stop trying to get cheap penalties all the time, because you're ruining the game with what you're doing.